One of the most obvious consequences of the elitist policy agenda of the last few decades is the way that the jobs and wealth from our fast-growing technology industries have been concentrated in the richest coastal cities like San Francisco and New York, while huge parts of the American heartland were ignored. Unbelievably, Hillary Clinton even made a virtue of this elitism, boasting about how in the 2016 election she won the votes of the dynamic parts of the country, while Donald Trump was supported in the places that had been left behind. Well, yes, exactly. That is absolutely the point of the populist movement, to speak up for and to help the people and places that have been left behind. But thank goodness, not all Democrats are elitists. And tonight, for our positive and practical segment, I'm joined by our friend, Congressman Ro Khanna, who has a plan to expand tech jobs to seemingly forgotten states. Welcome back, Congressman. Great to see you again. Ro, you're with us for our very first show, and it's lovely to see you anytime, but particularly because you've got something very specific and practical that I think could really help people. Just tell us your plan.
Well, thanks, Steve. Congrats on the success of your show. I think we have to recognize that most people in rural America don't want to live on the coast. They want to live next to their families. They like the independence. They like small-town values. And it's offensive for them to say, go move to San Francisco or Austin. We need to bring the jobs to them, and it also makes economic sense. So this past week, I took 10 tech leaders, including the founder of LinkedIn, the CTO of Microsoft. We went to Jefferson, Iowa. We created 25 jobs that will pay $65,000. Those folks in Jefferson get to stay in Jefferson. It's a 2-year credential. We need more programs like that across this country.
So just to be clear, what you're doing there is not really using the sort of legislative process. You're actually doing something through non-governmental means, which I think would be very exciting to everyone watching. Say, well, you don't need government to get on with this. You just need leaders who will actually get people to change their focus. And that seems to be what you're doing. Is that right?
There's that part of it where we can say, look, those jobs don't have to pay as much as they do in the Bay Area. Housing isn't as expensive, so there's an economic case to partner. And by the way, when you go to places in rural America, you see there's an extraordinary ingenuity and education and hunger to be part of this new economy. There's also a legislative piece, and I have a proposal to have tech grants for the 21st century, similar to land grants that Abraham Lincoln signed, saying let's give some of these educational institutions funding to create tech institutes that will lead to real jobs in rural America. And it's practical. You know, I heard your previous panelist saying we aren't all solution-oriented, but I actually worked with Rob Portman this term. Just last week, we're going to have a bill going to the president's desk that he will sign to modernize websites. I think Republicans can get on board with the idea of tech grants to land-grant institutions to help rural America and the heartland get jobs in the new economy.
I just think it's really great, and it's one of those things that just is totally non-partisan and, frankly, exactly what members of Congress should be doing, and I really appreciate that you're doing it. So thank you very much for what you're doing and for telling us about it tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.